Black Friday, Schmack Friday. It's all about Cybork Monday. Wow! Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Festa. I'm old Big Mech. I am indeed a certified cyborg, given my multiple titanium plates in there, and I'm here to tell you about all the deals that you can get on Warhammer right now. And before you go hit the comments, no, this is not some sort of marketing scheme to get you to do things that would make me money. Except for one thing that will be very obvious later on. No, none of these are sponsored. None of these have kickbacks. None of these are affiliates. This is just straight up where to find the best deals on Warhammer stuff this holiday season, because you are getting pretty close to the end of holiday season. From what I've been seeing, most places are saying you need to order between the 11th and the 14th to guarantee shipment before Squigmas. So it's getting down to brass tacks here, guys. Which means if you're doing any kind of Warhammer shopping, now is the time. So, what do I mean when I say best deals? We're going to look at three different categories. One is actual legit sales, of which there's not many, but we will talk about them. Discounts, of which there's a lot. And then just kind of in general. So things that maybe are even just regular price, but they're just a darn good deal. So, with all that being said, let's get into it. All right, first of all, sales. In case you don't know or haven't seen any of my holiday Battle Force videos over the last few years, Games Workshop sells on a contract price basis. That means when they sell stock to their stockists, there is a contracted price for each individual SKU or line item, and the shop cannot go below or above a certain percentage that is specified on that price. That means those discounts don't change. There is never really a sale on Warhammer stuff. That's why I have to do things like the combat patrols and the battle forces in order to bundle things together to make new SKUs in order to kind of change the price on the things inside. That's why you're not going to really see a Games Workshop sale, so to say. But that doesn't mean that there's not sales out there on Warhammer Minis. And to keep it fair, we are literally only talking about Warhammer Minis. Obviously, there are a ton of sales out there on the greater general hobby goods area. I mean, if you wanted to buy paint sets from any of the big paint brands, they all have Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales going on. If you wanted to buy an airbrush, there's a ton of different ones out there. If you wanted to buy stuff from third-party manufacturers or STL files or things like that, they all have sales. In fact, there is just way too many to track. If you have a favorite, go check out their stuff direct. I'm sure you will find a deal. I'm just talking about Warhammer itself, like the actual minis. Are there any sales on those that you could take advantage of? And for that, I'm going to refer you to your friendly local game store. Now, obviously, we all live in different areas of the country, if not the world. We're all going to have different friendly local game stores, but I guarantee you probably have at least one that's got some sort of a loyalty program or something to that effect. As you have seen in a previous video of mine, which I will link up there, I visited all the ones in my closest town and did a whole bunch of fun doing some Warhammer 40,000 shopping there. And I can tell you that at least two of them have a loyalty program that will give me a discount off of their price. One of them even already discounts stuff, so they kind of match the price of the online vendors, and then you can, use your store points beyond that because that doesn't violate Games Workshop's terms of service. They also have, kind of small business Saturday deals going on, or, Cyber Week deals going on, so definitely check with your friendly local game store. They might be able to do something in person that isn't necessarily advertised online. It's a technical sale. Technically correct is the best kind of correct. Now, the other spot you will actually see legit sales is outside of Warhammer itself, but still within Games Workshop. They famously do a paint sale this time every year. You usually go into the Warhammer physical store. You can buy 10 paints and you get one free or something like that. But sometimes they give you 2 or 3 free, which is, nice if you buy any of that stuff. I personally do really like the shades. I don't much care for any of the other Games Workshop stuff. A few of the contrast paints are right, but the shades are where it's at. So yeah, getting a bunch of shades on a sale is a good thing. They also have the actual official Warhammer merch store. Mixed bag on those things. I have personally purchased, again, at full price using my own teeth, many things from there. Their t-shirts are actually really high quality and last a really long time. They are very pricey, but at least you're getting the quality for that price. It's not just a markup. So I can recommend that. Some of their designs are a bit lacking, so definitely go for the better designs than the ones that just have an Ultra Renew on them. you could probably find that for a lot cheaper. Other than that, they do sell like the Tomy plushies, which are very good quality. I highly recommend those. Although again, you can kind of get them on Amazon and stuff like that for a lot cheaper. But you know, the Warhammer merch store is doing an actual holiday sale right now. Like there is a % off based on how much stuff you buy. And it is actually a pretty sweet deal. I know I looked for gifts for my grots on there just this morning. So I would say, you know, go check out the actual Warhammer merchandise store for some potential discounts there, or sales. Discounts come next. Now, as for actual sales, I know we talked about contracted price just a few minutes ago. There is an exception to the contracted price, and that is when a SKU is retired. When it is no longer an active product, stores are allowed to start discounting it much more rapidly in order to get that old stock off the shelf. Smart stores will do that and get that old stock out of there so that they have funds to buy new product and keep new exciting things on the shelf. Not every shop is as up on revenue as that, but most are. So right now, for example, there are a lot of shops still sitting on the previous edition of both Age of Sigmar and Horus Heresy stuff, and that stuff tends to get discounted pretty quickly and go on a sale. I have seen a few stores have a sale online that is on top of the discounted price for out of stock items or damaged items. That is a very good trick. In fact, a store posted in our Discord, which is linked down below, totally free. If you go there and go to, we've got a little sub forum for buy, sell, trade. There's one for LGSs. We had a store post in there that they have a whole bunch of stuff that's scratch and dent. The boxes have been bashed, they've been beat, and so they were allowed to put a sale on those items to get rid of the stock because they can't really send it back and they can't really put it out on retail. But you can get it for a really, really, really great deal because they can put it on sale because it is damaged goods. That is one of the clauses in that fixed price contract. So that was an excellent deal. You'll also see a few people doing no box deals, depending on where they're getting the models. But those are more like they take big boxes and they take them apart and then they sell off all the little internal things. This is literally a broken box sale, which I think you even get the box with it so you can see what kind of damage it had, but the sprues are a-okay. So that is a fantastic way to get a sale in. Okay, now let's move on to discounts, which is what we normally deal with in the Warhammer sphere because there really aren't any sales. In discount land, there are many discounts going on. First of all, that contract price, most Warhammer 40k things are around 15%. Some of them can be a little less, some of them can be a little bit more, but you will generally see, like if you look up a combat patrol, it's like $144.50 or something like that is the bottom price, and you will see literally hundreds of them posted for that, like on eBay and stuff like that. So that kind of tells you what that contract price is. However, that price changes for different items. So you can discount Necromunda more heavily than you can discount 40k. Now, all that being said, what most people want is a discount on the discount boxes. Let's face it, Warhammer is a very, very expensive hobby, especially Warhammer 40k. But it is the 900-pound gorilla of the tabletop marketplace. Everybody wants to play 40k, everybody wants to build 40k. It's just the most popular. So when you have the most popular thing, you can charge the highest price for it. Versus the less popular games, like Necromunda, even though they've got like the coolest models and stuff, because it is a less popular game, they have to make the prices a little lower in order to entice people to come over to that side of the aisle. It's kind of like a replacement theory over 40k. Now, I know I just talked about combat patrols being discounted, and that is a very, very good thing. But what most people are looking for is a discount on the limited releases like the Holiday Battle Forces. Now, I just did a whole series on all of the 40k Holiday Battle Forces. I don't do the Age of Sigmar ones because I don't actually play Age of Sigmar, so I don't know much about it. So I can't give like those same kind of advice pieces that I did on 40k. But these are included in what I'm about to talk about. The battle forces, as I said in all the videos, and a very specific video, are not limited, meaning that it's not a like super short run. They try to make as many as they humanly can and can sell. So it's not this whole FOMO thing, and they're also designed to be sold in person. Once again, if you have not found one online, go to your friendly local game store. They haven't even arrived yet. When they do arrive, you should be able to buy one in person. I know that, again, I have multiple options and I am not unique in that range. Interestingly, Games Workshop themselves actually emailed me, and I'm nobody special. I just buy things from them, right? And have a Warhammer, the free Warhammer community account, right? And where you sign up for the emails. So they emailed everybody. But they emailed everybody that even they, on their own web store, still had multiple battle forces available for both 40K and Age of Sigmar. So that if you didn't get one yet, if you hadn't pre-ordered one yet, and you wanted to pay Games Workshop full price for it, they would happily sell it to you. Now, it wasn't every one of them, but it was a lot of them. In fact, if I remember right, I know for sure the Sylvaneth, the Tree Lord ones, was on there, as well as the Tau one. I was really considering the Tau one because obviously Favorite Grot kind of really wants that, but also I really want it because it's a bunch of big shitty robots, right? So that one was really cool. So I know for sure those two are on there, but I'm pretty sure I was looking at Krieg there for a while too, and a couple of the other ones. They actually had quite a few of them just on offer, but they aren't the only ones. I know a lot of the super popular online discounters and War Games Portal and things like that are totally out of the battle forces, but they are far and beyond not the only ones to carry these. Again, Games Workshop limits the quantity that each store can buy of these things because the whole point is that every store is supposed to have them. Everybody's supposed to have an equal shot at them. I have found numerous smaller stores offering a discount on the battle forces, both in person and online. Again, I've got local game stores I could go to where I could order a battle force and actually get a discount on it, but I've also seen online. In fact, I was about that close to buying a Death Korps of Krieg battle force. I think it was like $220 out the door, so it was $30 cheaper than retail, and then the shipping was free and all that stuff too. So I mean, it really was this discount, and that was not the only one. I can, again, as of like right now, today, this morning, I've been all over eBay and the internet looking at battle forces and seeing these discounts kind of everywhere. Again, it's not every box and it's not like all the same discounts, but there are definitely discounts to be had on top of the already discounted price for being a battle force. So if you are looking for discounted 40K or AOS minis, definitely go poking around. The deals are actually out there. You're just not going to find them on Amazon, War Games Portal, etc. Go look at eBay, go look at smaller stores, go look at your friendly local game store and see what you can dig up. All right, speaking of discounts, and before we get into the third and final piece, which is the in general, I do want to talk about my own web store at theredonesgofasta.com. This is the only part where I'm trying to make something because that web store is what supports this channel. YouTube is a fantastic medium for getting content out there and creating the start of something. Discord is the place where we build that community. We've got over 600 active participants on Discord, which is amazing. But realistically, none of that stuff is going to keep the lights on, let alone allow me to buy models and stuff like that that I use on the videos. And well, as you guys can see, I'm going through some things at the moment. I shattered my wrist early in Orktober. I've had 2 surgeries so far with 1 to go, and I've got a metal plate that goes from here to here that keeps my wrist from moving, which is hence the Cybork joke earlier in the video. But all that being said, theredonesgofasta.com is our own merch store where you will find all of the merch that I wear on the videos that we feature, and it's all designed by real artists. Both myself, who did all the Red Squig stuff, BenBam, who did our Ghost Fasta, and then the Mordaka series, and then Velgarn, who did the old Big Mech stuff. We also have the Orktober stuff, which will only be offered through the end of the year. Once next year hits, we are taking that one off and retiring that particular design because we'll have a different one for next Orktober. But I am offering a discount kind of for the first time ever. I try to keep my prices as low as I humanly can because I'm not in this to be a capitalist. I've got a regular job, and this is solely for the channel. But we were able to put together a discount thanks to all of our stuff is made to order. And the companies that we use for the made to order stuff, they have discounted what we can buy it for, which means I can discount what you can buy it for, right? So Right now, if you click on the link down in the description or go to theredonesgofasta.com and put in code Cybork, that's Cybork for those of you that can't spell, like me, because you're an orc. But use code Cybork and you will get 15% off your order of $50 or more on all the things that are in our collections. So that would be basically anything that is a soft good. So Red Squig hat, a Mordaka shirt, the grot sizes, the hoodies, the beanie caps, all that stuff is going to be 15% off your order of $50 or more. There's also the other merch on there, such as the water bottle and the stickers, which we do have brand new stickers, which are really cool, that are individual, as well as our good old sticker pack, where you get 5 stickers of the smaller size that are a nice, good deal too. Throw it all together in a cart. You've got through the end of December 14th. Now, they tell me that if you order by December 11th in the US, you're guaranteed to get your stuff. After that, it's kind of a toss-up depending on which item it is you order. Over in the EU, they're saying like the 14th. Because again, our stuff is made to order. It's also made where you live. So there's a plant in Australia that makes things for like Australia and New Zealand. So if you're down there, you can order from there. There's a plant in the EU that does all that stuff, stuff like that. So it doesn't matter where you're in the world, you're going to get 15% off. And that's going to be through the end of December 14th. And then that discount will end because at that point we've kind of missed the shopping season for the year. So yeah, if you wanted to get some really cool discounted merch from our store made by real artists, no AI slop, go check it out at theredonesgofasta.com. Again, code Cybork, and you will get 15% off your order of $50 or more from anything in the Red Squig, Mordaka, Orktober, and Original Goes Fasta collections. Okay, that's my bit. Let's get back to the video, because the last thing I want to talk about are in general. Now, what does that mean? Well, again, Warhammer is a very, very expensive hobby, but some is more expensive than the other. And I don't just mean like 40K compared to, Age of Sigmar, because we just talked about that, and we all know that 40K is the most expensive. But within 40K itself, there are varying levels of expensive. For example, most of you that have been watching me for a long time know that even though I have all this orc stuff, I have multiple armies. Like everybody else, I've got a Great Space Marine army, as well as Craft World Eldar, multiple Imperial Guard armies, Lost in the Damned, Agents of the Imperium, etc., etc., etc. And that doesn't even include the Grotz armies, who have things like Ultramarines, Death Guards, Tau, and then Stormcast Eternals and the Squig Herd guys and whatnot from Age of Sigmar. So there are a lot of armies floating around here, which means we look at a lot of boxes. And there's a few things that are kind of known. Everybody knows that Custodes are the best deal. That you get the most points per dollar, you get the most value out of their boxes. Their Combat Patrol, famously, even the new one, can be over 1,000 points out of the box without even trying. And that's not kit bashing, that's not converting, that's literally building the models how they're supposed to be, because one of them you can build a captain and stuff like that. It could be over 1,000 points. It is a fantastic deal. So Custodes is one of those armies that is an in general best deal, because you don't need as many models to make as big of an army points wise to have a lot of fun. Now, there used to be armies that were a great deal model count wise. If you were somebody that really liked to paint or collect, not necessarily play, didn't really care about points, things like the current Agents of Imperium box are actually a really good deal. You get, God, it's like 27 or 28 guys in that box for the same price as all the other ones that are usually around 17 guys, and there's a lot of variety in it. It gives you, a lot of stuff to paint, except for when you put it on the tabletop, it's not very many points. One of the older armies that used to be that way was Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard Start Collecting set was fantastic. It had a squad of guardsmen, a commissar, a heavy weapons team, and a Leman Russ battle tank in its Start Collecting box. And the Start Collecting box wasn't much more money than just buying the Leman Russ itself. So you were basically getting all of that infantry for free. It was a really, really smoking good deal. Unfortunately, since then, the combat patrols have become worse and worse and worse, to the point where now the Death Corps of Krieg is the worst combat patrol you can buy. It is the lowest points total. It is the lowest points min or max. It is the worst points per dollar. And even though it has kind of a number of models, it's not the greatest number of models, and it's a lot of repeats. So even though I want it, it's really not worth it. It's probably the worst deal out there. Now, that being said, there are good deals out there. So outside of Custodes, what are those? The Grey Knights one. Now, I know everyone's going to be like, the Grey Knight models are old and all that stuff. That's fine. We're not talking about old or new or anything like that. We're just talking about deals. If you like the way the Grey Knights models look, the Grey Knights Combat Patrol is a fantastic in general value. It gets even better if you can go buy it at a discount, like we just talked about. Like I said, like around $144 is what I am seeing online. Here's a little hint for you. For those of you that haven't done eBay lately, go to eBay, look at stuff that is buy it now, and you might be able to make an offer. But even if you can't make an offer, what you can do is put the little heart icon on so that you're watching it, and you might get an email from the seller going, hey, here's a little extra percentage off that we're not allowed to advertise, and you could pick it up even cheaper. That is Old Big Mac's top tip. Used it more than once. It works fantastic. So definitely give that a go when you're looking at these in general deals or any of the other deals. Okay, so outside of Custodes and Grey Knights, what are your other good options? Frankly, anything that is high points value and has a number of models in its box is going to be a good deal. The Raven Guard one is excellent because it's got a vehicle in there, the Warsuit thing, plus quite a few guys with jump packs and stuff that are really expensive dudes on their own. So you get a lot of good value for your money. Same thing with the Imperial Fist one. That Combat Patrol is amazing. All of these Terminators, all these heavy intercessor guys for a regular price is fantastic. Also the Salamanders one. So basically any of the not normal named Space Marines. So ignore your Blood Angels, Death Angels, regular Space Marines, that kind of stuff. Look at, like I said, Imperial Fist, Salamanders, Raven Guard. Even the White Scar one isn't bad. I would avoid the Iron Hand one. That's the one with the 2 turrets. That one's not so good. But the other ones were all, a pretty darn good deal for what you're getting. And other than that is the Holiday Battle Forces. Like I did the video on each and every single one of them. They were all excellent deals in and of their own right. And especially, like I said, now that you can still get them and potentially even get a discount on them. Like I said, I was able to find multiple Battle Forces online, click that little heart button, get an email a couple hours later, and then buy it for an even bigger discount. So if there's an army out there that you want, if there's a box out there that you want, definitely go try to hunt it down and try to get it shipped, and you might even have it in time for Squigmas. Okay, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, found some value out of it. If you found a deal and you're excited about it, let us know down in the comments below so we can all celebrate together on how cool that is so that we can keep enjoying our hobby together for as little teeth as possible. All right, that's going to do it for this one. Once again, TheRedOnesGoFaster.com, code Cybork, now through the end of December 14th. We'll get you 15% off your order of $50 or more of durable goods. And until then, we'll catch you in the next video. So, walk on!